Hello Manchester United fans, welcome back to the Manchester Evening News. I'm Sam Hutchison and these are 5 things I learned from that Man United game against Everton. Now that we've had a weekend to think about it, a weekend to reflect on that 2-0 win, there are 5 things that I think really stood out to me in that game. And I'm going to go through them here for you. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the Manchester Evening News for all the best Manchester United coverage. In at number 1, Bruno Fernandes is changing positions. It seemed to work really well with Bruno Fernandes dropping as the deeper midfielder. Scott McTominay was sort of next to him more than in front or behind him, and then Sabitzer pushed up. Sabitzer has always been that role. That was what he played for Leipzig when he's played his best football in his career, and that's what he played against Everton, and it worked pretty well. He was getting in the box, he was sort of getting involved with the play, and Bruno Fernandes was still doing the same Bruno Fernandes things that we know. He was being creative, he was finding the important passes, he was making good moves throughout the midfield. I think it really helped Erik ten Hag get his side to play a lot more like a side, because against Newcastle the midfield was barely there and Bruno Fernandes was the most advanced. Bruno Fernandes dropping into this deeper sort of midfield role, it really benefited Manchester United and it helped them win 2-0. In at number 2, Marcus Rashford moving to striker means so much more attacking freedom for Man United. I've just mentioned it there. Sabitzer was pushing on, and oftentimes Sabitzer was joining as a sort of a front 2 with Rashford. But the benefit of Rashford is he plays the same way no matter where he is starting on the pitch. If he's starting up front, he still ends up drifting over to the left. And him drifting over to the left means Antony can cut in onto his stronger left foot and get a lot more involved than, say, if Weghorst's up there or Martial's up there. Sancho also started on the left and he came into midfield a lot more, sort of playing as a bit of a number 10. And I think it really worked, especially when Sancho's playing into that midfield and Fernandes is dropping off a bit. So Sancho's playing a lot more in the sort of area that Sabitzer was playing, and Sabitzer's less important to how Manchester United play than Bruno Fernandes. So I think how it set up as a midfield and an attack, with Rashford up front, it really allowed the wingers to make the most of what they're naturally best at and their natural skill set. And for Sancho, that is cutting inside, making a nuisance of himself to sort of a defensive midfielder, playing passes and sort of getting it shortened quick with Sancho. Whereas with Antony, he was off the last man. If he had a right foot, which I hope he'll develop for next season, he would have scored multiple goals. He was sent in so many times in behind that Everton defence, and it really worked with Rashford dropping as that more. He allowed the space to be created from Manchester United rather than filling up a space himself. In at number 3, Erik ten Hag is clearly so much more confident in his defence. From the last game to this game, he made 3 changes in defence, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Tyrone Malacia and Harry Maguire all coming in, and it worked quite well. It's a defence that, say, towards the end of last season or even the start of this season, this defence would not have worked as a trio. With Martinez there or without Martinez there, it wouldn't have worked. And start of the season, there was a lot of criticism on Harry Maguire, most of it deserved, and we at the Manchester Evening News will criticise if a player's not playing well, and we have criticised Harry Maguire plenty of times. However, I will also praise Harry Maguire when he does play well, and he was pretty much solid against Everton. Did nothing special particularly, but he was good next to Martinez, and I didn't realise that it was a completely different defence, a new defence completely pretty much for Erik ten Hag, and it didn't work awful. It means that Erik ten Hag trusts his defence, and next season, at the start of the season, it was a big thing. Oh, Manchester United will need a new right back. We might need a new left back. They might need a new centre half. And Erik ten Hag nowadays, I think that's much less pressure, and he can really focus on bringing in a central striker in summer. In at number 4, sticking on central strikers, Anthony Martial could still have a role to play this season and next season. There's been a lot of speculation on whether Anthony Martial will continue at Old Trafford into next season. And I honestly think he's still got a role to play for Manchester United. He came on against Everton. He was good again. He got his goal. It was impressive. He was a good player. It was good performance all round from Anthony Martial when he came off the bench. And I think he could still have a role to play because he's clearly a better footballer than Wout Weghorst is. And I think he could still be so important to the rest of Manchester United's season as they still chase down 2 more trophies. I think he could play a massive role in the Europa League. I think he could play a massive role in the FA Cup because he offers something that Man United can't offer with anybody else. And then in at number 5, the midfield issues seem to be a little bit relieved. Eriksen returned from injury off the bench. It was a completely standard performance that we come to expect from Christian Eriksen. But I think his presence makes Manchester United a better side. Casemiro has nearly completed his suspension. He'll be back in midweek against Sevilla. Honestly, I think Casemiro, Eriksen, Fernandes is Man United's strongest midfield. I don't know if you agree, let me know in the comments. But so far this season, that's been the strongest midfield. And that could play against Sevilla. And that could play towards the end of the season as Manchester United look to secure a top 4 position, 2 more trophies. And it'd be a really successful season under Erik ten Hag with top 4 and 3 trophies, even 2 trophies. I think Manchester United will really be buoyed by Eriksen's return, the return of Casemiro, and I think it really benefits Man United going into the last part of the season. So Manchester United fans, what did you learn about the game? Anything you noticed that I might have missed, let us know in the comments. Keep it locked to Manchester Evening News. See you next time.